Hello everyone, my name is Agistia Sari with study number 2513042018. I'm here to present my material about morpheme and morphology. This presentation is guided by our lecturer, Miss Desi Awal Mar'an MPD. Before we start, let's look at the table of content. So today we are going to talk about four main points. First, we will discuss about morpheme in morphology. Second, we will learn about free and bound morpheme. Third, we will talk about lexical and derivational morpheme. And the last one, we will do some sentence analysis to practice what we have learned. Alright, let's start with the first topic. Okay, let's begin with morphology. So, what is morphology? Well, as you can see on the slide, morphology is actually one of the branches of linguistics. The meaning of morphology is the study of how a word is formed. And the next slide is the branch of linguistics. Now, let's look at the slide which show us the branches of linguistics. Just like a tree, linguistics has many branches, and each branch studies different things. Morphology. This is the one we are discussing today. It studies words and morphemes, or how words are formed. And the next is phonology. This one studies about sounds in language. It's all about how sounds work. And next is syntax. This branch studies sentences. It looks at how words are arranged to make a correct sentence. And then semantics. This one studies about meaning. It helps us understand what words and sentences actually mean. And the last one is pragmatics. This studies about context. It looks at how the situation or the context affects the meaning of what we say. So, every branch has its own focus, and morphology is one of the important parts that we are going to learn today. Okay, now we move on the next part, the difference between morpheme and syllable. Morpheme is not equal with syllable. First, morpheme is the smallest part of a word that has meaning. We spell it based on meaning. For example, take the word teacher. We split it into teach and er. Both have meaning. Teach means the action of giving knowledge, and er means the person who does that action. So, this word has two morphemes. On the other hand, syllable is just a unit of sound. We split it based on how we pronounce it, not based on meaning. For the same word, teacher, when we pronounce it, it has two bits of sounds, t and sh. So it has two syllables. See the difference? Morpheme is about meaning, syllable is about sound. That's why they are not the same thing. Okay, next we will discuss about free and bound morpheme. So, basically morphemes are divided into these two types, and different is really easy to understand. First, free morpheme. As the name suggests, this type can stand alone as a word. It means it already has its own meaning and we can use it directly without adding anything else. And for example, work, good, talk, car, and thin. Then there is bound morphem. This one is the opposite. It cannot stand alone. It has to be attached to another word or morpheme to have meaning. Usually, these are the parts we add at the beginning or the end of a word. For examples, ending with s, ed, er, and on, this. You can just say er or an alone, right? You have to attach them to a word, like the word walk. Walk is the free morpheme and ed is the bound morpheme. And next is, what is an affix? Now let's talk about affix. So, what is an affix? Simply put, an affix is actually a bound morpheme. Remember what we discussed earlier. It means it cannot stand alone and it has to be attached to a base word to have meaning. There are few types of affixes, but today we will focus on the two most common ones, prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes are affixes that come before the base word. And for example, un in unclear, re in rewrite, dis in disagree, miss in misunderstand. And then suffixes. Suffixes are affixes that come after the base word. For example, s in pants, er in farmer, ness in sadness, ing in running. So that's the difference between prefixes and suffixes, where they are placed in a word. And this is for example. To make it clearer, let's look at some examples here. First example is teacher. We can split it into teach and er. Teach is a free morpheme because it can stand alone. Er or is a suffix and also a bound morpheme because it has to be attached to another word. Second example is recook. We split it into re and cook. Re is a prefix and a bound morpheme. Cook is a free morpheme. And the last example is pens. We split it into pen and s. Pen is a free morpheme. S is a suffix and a bound morpheme. And next is free morpheme, lexical and functional. First, lexical morpheme. This is also called an open class. What does that mean? It means these are the main words that carry the real meaning or information. They are the words that give us the main idea. Lexical morpheme include noun like names of things, people, or place. Verb, action verb, adjective, words that describe things. Adverb, word that describe how something happens. Then there is functional morpheme, also called a closed class. These words don't really carry much meaning on their own, but they are very important to make the sentence grammatically correct. Functional morpheme include determiner like the, and pronoun like he, she, it, they, Preposition like in, on, at, by. Conjunction like and, but, or. Auxiliary and interjection like wow, oh, ouch. So, lexical morphems are the main words and functional morphems are the helpers that make the sentence complete. And next is bound morphem, inflectional and derivational. First, inflectional morphem. The characteristics are simple. It does not change the word class of the original word. For examples, book, to be books. Book is noun and books with ending as still noun. Walk, to be walk. Walk is verb and walk with ending ed still verb. Fast, adjective. Faster with ed er still an adjective. And it also does not change the core meaning of the word. It only adds grammatical information. And then is derivational. This one is different. Its characteristics are it usually changes the word class. It also changes or adds new meaning to the word and creates a new word. Example, teach and teacher, happy and happiness, possible and impossible are two separate words. And next is sentence analysis. Okay, we have learned all the theories and types of morphemes. Now, let's put it into practice with sentence analysis. This is where we apply what we have learned to real sentences. First, let's look at the first sentence. The boy plays football. The is a morpheme marked with F and also a functional morpheme marked with FU. Boy. This is a free morpheme with symbol F and a lexical morpheme marked with L. Place. We split it into play and S. Play is primorpheme with symbol F and lexical morpheme with symbol L. And S is bound morpheme marked with B and inflectional morpheme marked with L. Because place ending S in this word is doesn't change the word class and word meaning. And next is football. We split into foot and ball. Both are free morphemes and lexical morphemes. Foot is a noun and noun is included in lexical. And ball is same. Ball is noun and included in lexical. Now, let's look at the second sentence. The teacher explained the lesson. The is free morpheme and functional morpheme because the is determiner and determiner is included in functional. Teacher, we split it into teach and er. Teach is free morpheme with symbol F and lexical morpheme with symbol L because teach is a verb and is bound morpheme and is can change the meaning of a word and change the class of a word. So This is included in derivational. And next is explain. Explain is pre-morphem and ed is bound morphem. Explain is verb. So verb is included in lexical. Ed is inflectional because ending ed is doesn't change a word class and doesn't change the meaning of a word. And next is the is same like the is pre-morphem and include in functional. And lessons is pre-morphem and lesson is a noun. So noun is included in lexical. Okay, that's all about sentence analysis. And next is, okay, everyone, that's all about the material I can share with you today. We have talked about what morphology and morphemes are, the differences between them, and the types of morphemes, and also practice analyzing sentence together. I really hope this presentation is easy to understand and useful for all of us. I also want to say sorry if there are any mistakes or explanations that are not quite right. Thank you so much for your attention and for listening to me from the beginning until the end. I also want to thank our lecturer, Miss Desi, for her guidance and support. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much and see you.